Welcome back in the YouTube lecture series on organic chemistry. So, in this YouTube lecture, we are going to consider theory related to BSc 3 chemistry practicals of organic chemistry. Okay, theoretical basis required for practical organic chemistry, and in particular it is related to organic qualitative analysis. Organic qualitative analysis is also called as organic spotting. What is organic spotting? It is the process of separation and identification of binary mixture in this particular class. Identification of organic compound is general concept. We say organic spotting, but in this particular BSc 3 class, we are going to separate and identify a binary mixture. So, two compounds are there in the given mixture and we are expected to separate them and identify. So, before going into the experimental details, let us have general outline of the experiment. So, the basic question is, what is qualitative analysis? Qualitative analysis is based upon observations. Qualitative analysis is based upon observations. Then qualitative analysis deals with the detection of the nature, type, various elements and functional groups present in the chemical substance or chemical compound. At the same time, there is another technique called as quantitative analysis, which deals with the measurement and calculation, that is related to titration or volumetric analysis. So, any experiment in chemistry will be either qualitative or quantitative or will be a hybrid. So, qualitative and quantitative both. So, these are the some fundamentals. In case of organic spotting or organic qualitative analysis of binary mixture, there are certain steps. First step is called as detection of type, that is chemical type. Then separation of the components of the mixture, then identification of the compound number 1, identification of compound number 2, and results are to be submitted. So, this is the entire procedure to be carried out systematically during organic spotting. The analysis involves following steps. To begin with, nature of the mixture is investigated, it is detected. So, what are the possibilities of mixture? The mixture, binary mixture will be solid or solid plus solid, or solid plus liquid, or liquid plus liquid. So, initially you have to identify the physical type, or it is called as nature also, solid plus solid, solid plus liquid, or liquid plus liquid. Then you are expected to determine the chemical type of the mixture. Once you know physical type and chemical type, physical nature and chemical type, you are expected to separate the mixture. After separation, identify the first compound. These are the steps involved in the identification. Preliminary test, determination of physical constant, that is melting point or boiling point, detection of elements, detection of functional group, consultation with literature to identify the compound, confirmation by special test. In similar fashion, if asked, you are expected to identify the second compound by repeating the same procedure, and finally you are expected to submit the results in a precise form. So, these are the steps again repeated in the slide. Now, how to determine the nature of the mixture? As I mentioned in the earlier slide, the nature of binary mixture of organic compounds are of three types. Either it will be solid plus solid, solid plus liquid, or liquid plus liquid. Solid plus solid mixture can be identified by mere observation. So, appearance, if it is solid, then it is solid plus solid. If the appearance of the mixture is in liquid form, then there are two possibilities. One possibility, if the solid is soluble in the liquid, then it will appear only in liquid form, and if the mixture contains both the liquids, one volatile, another non-volatile, then it will be again having the same appearance. If the organic mixture containing liquid, then the nature can be determined by following test. Take 2 drops of the mixture on a clean washed glass and blow air by mouth. If solid remains on the washed glass, then the mixture is solid plus liquid. If liquid remains on the washed glass, then the mixture will be liquid plus liquid. So, the possibilities can be identified very easily. If the mixture appears solid, it is solid plus like solid. If few drops of the mixture are poured on the wash glass and if liquid remains behind, solid remains behind, then it will be solid plus liquid, and if liquid remains on the wash glass, then it will be liquid plus liquid. So, in this lecture we are going to relate only with solid plus solid mixtures. So, determination of physical type will be out of these three, and as I mentioned, we are going to deal with only solid mixtures in this particular lecture. So, whenever we consider the mixture of organic compounds of solid plus solid, then there are 4 possible chemical types of the organic compound. One is acid, other is phenol, third is base, and fourth is neutral. So, organic compounds are of these 4 types: acid, phenol, base, and neutral. So, our interest will be now to detect the chemical type. Now, you have to remember that whenever we are expected to identify solid plus solid mixture, here the compounds are water insoluble. Okay? If the nature of binary mixture is solid plus solid, then it is necessary to find out the first type, then separate it into individual component using chemical method. If the nature of binary mixture is solid plus liquid or liquid plus liquid, then low boiling component is to be separated by distillation and the type of the individual component is to be determined. As I have repeatedly mentioned, we are going to deal with only solid mixtures in this particular lecture. Okay. So, whenever we consider solid plus solid mixture, as we have seen that there are 4 chemical types: acid, phenol, base, and neutral. So, with these 4 chemical types, the mixture will have these possible combinations: acid plus phenol, acid plus base, acid plus neutral, phenol plus base, phenol plus neutral, or base plus neutral. So, obviously 4 chemical types are there: acid, phenol, base, and neutral, and there are 6 possible combinations of these 4 chemical types: acid plus phenol, acid plus base, acid plus neutral, phenol plus base, phenol plus neutral, base plus neutral. So, out of these 6 types, we are expected to identify the chemical type, and mind well, the basic principle of identification of chemical type of such mixtures is principle of salt formation. So, this is very basic concept. The mixture is to be identified on the basis of concept of salt formation. We will see the details, what is the meaning of this. Water insoluble organic compound is converted into water soluble form, that is water soluble salt, and then separated. So, let us consider what is the exact change is taking place. Suppose your mixture contains acid. Actually, the sequence which we follow for detection of the type is we begin with acid, then phenol, then base, and neutral is the last. So, if your compound is acidic in nature, then that compound is water insoluble. It is treated with weak base, sodium bicarbonate. It gets converted into sodium salt of the acid, sodium salt of the carboxylic acid, which is water soluble. These are the byproducts. Then this water soluble salt is further decomposed and we get a reprecipitated acid by addition of this HCl. So, as we mentioned, the principle of salt formation is there. The principle converts acid into sodium salt. Acid is water insoluble, sodium salt is water soluble. Sodium salt, which is water soluble, is again converted into insoluble acid by addition of hydrochloric acid. So, acid soluble in weak base and regenerated by HCl. So, this is for acid. Then for phenols, phenols are weak acids as we know. Phenol is treated with a strong base, sodium hydroxide. We get sodium salt of the phenol, which is water soluble. So, phenol is water insoluble, sodium salt of the phenol is water soluble. This water soluble salt is again treated with HCl to regenerate phenol, that is reprecipitated or it reappears. So, these are the byproducts. So, phenol is converted into sodium salt of phenol and then separated. And lastly, if you are having base is water insoluble, base is treated with HCl, that is acid, we get hydrochloride salt of the base, which is water soluble. This water soluble salt is decomposed by sodium hydroxide, where we get a reprecipitated base. So, I will repeat once again, the principle of salt formation is there. Then this principle is used very systematically in organic mixture separation or detection of the type. Acids are selectively converted into sodium salt of acid by using weak base sodium bicarbonate. Phenols are converted into water soluble sodium salt of phenol by reacting with sodium hydroxide, and basic compound is converted into hydrochloride salt of the base by reacting with hydrochloric acid. So, in this way insoluble compounds are converted into soluble form, the filtrates are separated, and from the filtrate the compounds are reprecipitated, regenerated by using suitable reagent. For acid the reagent is HCl, for phenol it is again HCl, concentrated HCl, and for base it is sodium hydroxide for reprecipitation. Okay. So, this principle is used for all mixtures, for solid mixtures. Now, to begin with, a very simple test is carried out. A pinch of mixture is taken and 2 normal sodium hydroxide is added. If the mixture is completely soluble, then the mixture present in the given system must be acid plus phenol. The reason is, if acid is there, then it is soluble in NaOH, and if phenol is also there, then it is also soluble in NaOH. So, your first very careful observation, if the mixture is completely soluble in 2 normal sodium hydroxide, then it will be having acid plus phenol type. If the mixture is insoluble, then acid plus phenol type will be absent. If you are perfect in observation, then there is a third possibility. What is that possibility? If your given mixture is partially soluble in 2 normal sodium hydroxide, then partial solubility means there is a possibility of either presence of acid or phenol. Means first observation completely soluble, acid phenol type present. Second observation insoluble, acid plus phenol type absent. And third observation partly soluble, then acid or phenol may be present as one of the component of the mixture. Of course, this requires some additional skill. Now, let us begin systematically for the detection of chemical type. Here we start with the mixture. Take 1/4 of the mixture, because after investigation of the type you are going to separate the mixture, then for that purpose you have to use the large amount. So, begin with small amount, usually 1/4 of the mixture. I have written for the chemical components in the scheme only for understanding. Your mixture in the examination will be only a binary mixture. Okay. So, suppose your mixture contains all the components, acid plus phenol plus base plus neutral. Of course, all of these are water insoluble. Selectively, we investigate the chemical type in this particular sequence. We investigate for acid, then for phenol, then for base, and last what remains is neutral. So, if the mixture is taken, 1/4 of the amount of the mixture is taken, then add saturated sodium bicarbonate solution Til alkaline. Til alkaline can be confirmed by no effervescence. Stir well and filter. See carefully, we have to begin with this test. The first test of sodium hydroxide was a general test only for confirmation of acid plus phenol. This scheme is the proper scheme for detailed investigation. So, mixture plus saturated NaHCO3 Til alkaline means till no effervescence, stir well and filter. We get one filtrate and a residue. See carefully. So, the filtrate which we get will contain sodium salt of acid if it is present. Means out of these 4 components, only acid will react with sodium bicarbonate. The reaction which we have seen in this slide is taking place. Your acid will be reacting with sodium bicarbonate, giving a sodium salt of acid. Okay. So, as per the scheme, we treat the mixture with sodium bicarbonate, we get filtrate after stirring well. This filtrate, if it contains acid, then it can be regenerated, or it is regenerated by addition of concentrate HCl. So, before adding concentrate HCl, the filtrate is cooled well, because at lower temperature the solubility decreases. So, the filtrate is cooled down, HCl is added. If precipitate is observed, then acid is present. If no precipitate, acid absent. So, see carefully, out of these 4 components, one component which is acid is soluble in sodium bicarbonate, it comes in the filtrate. When the filtrate is cooled down and treated with concentrate HCl, if precipitate is obtained, then it is showing acid, presence of acid. If no precipitate, acid is absent. So, after investigation of the acid, either present or absent, we have 3 possibilities again: phenol, base or neutral. So, these 3 possible components, again I repeat, you will be given only 2 compounds. Only for explanation I have considered all of these. So, this residue which is remaining on the funnel after filtration will be containing phenol plus base plus neutral. If acid is there, then it may contain phenol plus base, phenol plus neutral, or base plus neutral. Okay. Rest of the possibilities are there if acid is absent. Then out of these 3, next compound to be investigated for its type is phenol. We started with acid by sodium bicarbonate. So, we are going to detect presence of phenol in the second round. So, this residue which is free from acid, or if acid is absent, you can take the original mixture also. Then you treat this with dilute sodium hydroxide Til alkaline, that is shake well and filter. Again for phenol we have seen this reaction. If phenol is present, then it reacts with sodium hydroxide and gives sodium salt of phenol, which is water soluble, which can be separated by filtration and regenerated by addition of HCl. So, in this case, this residue is treated with dilute NaOH. Residue may contain phenol or base or neutral. If it contains phenol, then it will react with dilute NaOH, and after shaking well and filtration, you will get again one more filtrate. We say this filtrate as filtrate B for convenience, and we get residue B. If phenol is present, then after addition of HCl, we get precipitate, usually white precipitate. If precipitate is there, then it is indicating presence of phenol. If no precipitate, phenol is absent. Now, we have seen for acid with sodium bicarbonate, for phenol with sodium hydroxide, solubility is there. Then 2 components are remaining after this, these are base and neutral. So, in the theory we have seen that base is converted into its salt by treating with 1s1 HCl. So, take the residue B, treat with 1s1 HCl, shake well and filter. So, we get again filtrate C and residue C. Filtrate C, which is a hydrochloride salt of the base. When you treat this with 30% NaOH and some low precipitate is obtained, then base is present. If no precipitate is there, base is absent. And it is definite that out of these first 3 you must get one compound and the rest will be nitrogen. If all these tests are negative, acid is absent, phenol is absent, base is absent, then the compound will be neutral. But in binary mixture, when one compound is neutral, you must have either acid or phenol or base as one of the earlier compounds in the mixture. Okay. So, the result of this step will be the type of the mixture is. What are the possible types? So, these are the possible types. Your mixture will be either acid plus phenol, acid plus base, acid plus neutral, phenol plus base, phenol plus neutral, or base plus neutral. In these first 3 types, you will get first test positive, that is reaction with sodium bicarbonate will give filtrate A, which will regenerate acid. Then phenol present in the 4th and 5th mixture will be soluble in sodium hydroxide, and in the 6th mixture base will be soluble in the 1:1 HCl and neutral will be remain unaffected. So, by considering these tests, you will get the type and you will report the type of the mixture, whether it is acid plus phenol, acid plus base, acid plus neutral, phenol plus base, phenol plus neutral, or base plus neutral. So, your mixture will be definitely out of these only 6 types. I will repeat once again. The mixture is detected for its type by using selectively 3 reagents: sodium bicarbonate for acid, then sodium hydroxide for phenol treatment, treatment of the residue if acid is present, or treatment with the mixture if acid is absent, then for base treatment with 1:1 HCl, and the last component will be neutral. Okay. So, then how to separate these mixtures? As I insisted in the earlier slide, that if your mixture is having solubility in sodium bicarbonate, then this is the first scheme for mixtures of acid, phenol, acid base, acid neutral type. Your mixture, if it is having acid, then the other compound will be either phenol or base or neutral. So, our interest is to selectively convert this acid in every type, acid plus phenol, acid plus base, or acid plus neutral, into corresponding sodium salt in soluble form. So, for that purpose, after detection of type of the mixture, you completely separate the mixture, you take the entire amount of the mixture for separation. So, take the given mixture in 250 ml beaker, add to it about 70 to 80 ml saturated sodium bicarbonate, that is till no efflorescence of CO2, and then filter it. Okay. So, residue from the filter paper is washed with saturated NaCO3 solution, dried and used to identify phenol or base. So, when your mixture is acid plus phenol, acid plus base, or acid plus neutral, then convert the first compound acid into sodium salt by treatment with sodium bicarbonate. Then to the filtrate, add concentrate HCl with stirring till complete precipitation, filter the precipitate at the suction pump, and this precipitate is dried and used for identification of acid. Means, when you treat the entire mixture with sodium bicarbonate, we get one filtrate, that filtrate is to be treated with HCl to get acid. The residue which we get is having either phenol or base or neutral compound. So, this is for the scheme for the separation of mixtures having acid as one of the components of the mixture, one of the compound in the mixture, acid plus phenol, acid plus base, acid plus neutral. These are separated by using the reagent for acid, that is sodium bicarbonate. Now, let us see the flow chart. This flow chart again explains the same. So, you treat the mixture, you get a filtrate, the filtrate is to be acidified, and we get the precipitate which is separated for identification of acid. The residue is to be tested for phenol, base, or neutral. Next, scheme 2. for phenol plus base, phenol plus neutral. In this case, the given mixture, actually you have phenol as the component. Phenol is soluble in sodium hydroxide, we know by the principle of salt formation. So, the given mixture is taken in a beaker, 70 to 80 ml dilute NaOH is added with constant stirring till basic to litmus and filtered it. So, residue is washed with dilute NaOH. Now, the residue will be either base or neutral, because the phenol has been converted into sodium salt of phenol. So, the filtrate is cooled. To the filtrate again concentrate HCl is added dropwise till complete precipitation. It is filtered like suction, and the residue is dried well and used for the identification of phenol. So, when you have a mixture of phenol plus base or phenol plus neutral, you convert the phenol into its sodium salt by treating with sodium hydroxide, and the residue will be base or neutral. So, in this way, by scheme 2 you separate phenol. This is again the flow chart for the same. So, filtrate contains sodium salt of the phenol. By addition of HCl you separate the phenol, the residue will be base or neutral. Now, scheme 3rd, it is the last scheme for base plus neutral mixture. If your mixture does not contain acid or phenol, and if it contains base plus neutral, then the base has to be converted into its hydrochloride salt. So, for this purpose the entire mixture is taken. To this entire mixture 1:1 HCl is added, which will convert the base into its corresponding salt, and the mixture is filtered. Residue is washed with 1:1 HCl, dried well and used for identification of neutral compound, because the residue will be neutral, and the filtrate is ice cooled. To the filtrate 30% concentrate NaOH is added slowly with constant stirring. Base precipitates at the filter at the suction, and you will get the base which is to be used for identification of base. So, in this way 3 schemes are used for the separation of these different kinds of the mixtures. The reactions which I mentioned earlier are again repeated here. Acid is converted, you are expected to write the reactions after investigation of the type of the mixture. After separation, before going to for separation, you have to report the reactions involved. So, for acids these are the 2 reactions, for phenol these are the 2 reactions, for base these are the 2 reactions, and for neutral no reactions are expected. So, after investigation of type and separation, next part is preliminary tests. So, you begin with the first compound. The preliminary tests give you preliminary idea. What are these tests? Of course, in earlier classes in BSc 1, BSc 2, or even before that in junior college also you have seen some of these tests. So, first test is nature. If it is your compound is solid, then there are some possibilities. If your compound is liquid, then there are these possibilities. So, preliminary test number 1 will be related to state of the mixture, either solid or liquid. Then color. Color will be pale yellow for nitro compounds, deep color for nitroanilines, alpha, beta, naphthol, etc. Colorless for acids, amides, anilides and aromatic hydrocarbons. Third will be odor. If fishy odor, fish like odor is there, then these are, it is amine. Then phenolic odor is a particular odor for phenols. You confirm what is phenolic in the lab itself. So, phenolic odor, it is for phenols, that is alpha naphthol, beta naphthol, etc. Then sweet and pleasant bitter almond, sweet and pleasant odor for esters and alcohols, bitter almonds odor for nitrobenzene, and naphthalene balls odor for naphthalene. So, these are the observations. Then now consider the solubility in water. In the beginning itself we have seen that if your mixture is solid plus solid, in this case the compounds are completely insoluble or sparingly soluble. So, if it is soluble in cold, then test with litmus paper, blue litmus, red litmus, then FeCl3, etc. So, blue litmus turns red, then acidic compounds like oxalic acid. This is for not for solid mixture. Oxalic acid will be given in solid liquid mixture. Then no action of litmus on litmus paper, then the compound will be neutral. Of course, this is for water soluble compounds, urea, thiourea, acetone, ethyl acetate, etc. And insoluble in cold water, then these are the possibilities. So, solubility test is there. Then to investigate presence of unsaturation, there is a test called as decolorization test, unsaturation test. For this purpose, the substance is dissolved in water, alcohol or acetic acid plus few drops of bromine water are added. So, there are two possibilities, one is decolorization, other is no decolorization. When decolorization is there, then there is presence of unsaturated compound may be present, and if no decolorization, saturated compound may be present. So, suppose you have an alkane and alkene, alkene type compound will show decolorization, alkane will not show, saturated compound will not show decolorization, unsaturated compound will show decolorization. So, this test is for confirmation of unsaturation. Similar type of test is there with KMnO4. It is also called as Bayer's test. In this test, the compound is taken, sodium carbonate is added, sodium carbonate solution, and few drops of very dilute KMnO4 solution are added to the test tube. Then there is possibility of decolorization of KMnO4 solution, unsaturated compound may be present. No decolorization of KMnO4, then saturated compound may be present. In preliminary tests, your investigations you are expected to report by using the phrase may be present or may be absent. So, these are the two tests for investigation of unsaturation present in the given compound. Okay. Then there is one test to confirm whether the compound is aliphatic, aromatic or contains halogen, etc. It is called as copper foil test.
According to Britannica, organohalogen compound
this copper foil piece is taken, copper foil is taken, it is oxidized, and this oxidized copper gauze is used for further flame test. To the oxidized copper gauze, some compound is placed on the copper foil and it is ignited in the flame. There are three possibilities. One is called as sooty flame, other is called as non-sooty flame, third is called as a green flame after initial sooty flame. So, what are the observations? The observations are sooty flame indicates presence of aromatic compound, non-sooty flame indicates presence of aliphatic compounds, and green flame after initial sooty flame indicates presence of compounds like urea or compounds having halogens. These tests you have studied and carried out in earlier classes of BSc 1 and 2 also. Then next step is determination of physical constant, that is determination of boiling point or melting point as usual. Then next is sodium fusion test, which you carry on for investigation of presence of different elements. So, it is called as Lassigin's test or sodium fusion test. For this test, take a dry piece of freshly cut sodium metal in a fusion tube, heat the tube gently to melt the sodium metal, add to it small quantity of compound, heat first slowly then strongly until the tube becomes red hot, then drop it into 20 ml distilled water taken in an evaporating dish. Repeat the procedure with 2 more fusion tubes, then boil the contents of the evaporating dish for 5 minutes, filter the solution and use this filtrate for detection of elements. This entire procedure is called as Lassigin's test, and the extract which is obtained is called as sodium extract. Okay. So, the technique was suggested by Jean-Louis Lassigin. So, this is a lifespan of this scientist, and he was a French chemist and he is well known for sodium fusion test. Okay. This procedure again is well known to you, sodium fusion test. Then what are the tests for the different elements? For nitrogen we take the filtrate, then add few crystals of FeSO4, 1 drop of NaOH, we boil it, then cool, add 2-3 drops of neutral FeCl3 solution and we acidify, we get green colorations. Green colorations indicate presence of nitrogen. So, it is also called as Prussian blue color or Prussian blue coloration or precipitate. Then for sulfur we take filtrate plus acetic acid plus lead acetate, we get black precipitate for sulfur. If no black precipitate, sulfur is absent. Then there is one more test for sulfur, filtrate plus few drops of sodium nitroprusside, purple color. If purple color is obtained, sulfur is present, no purple color, sulfur is absent. So, these are the tests which indicate presence of sulfur. For halogens, we take the filtrate, add AgNO3, in presence of HNO3, white or yellow precipitate is obtained, then halogens are present. Okay. Then for investigation of the different types of halogens, that is chlorine, bromine and iodine, the filtrate is treated with chloroform and chlorine water. And after shaking well, if chloroform layer is colorless, then chlorine is present. If chloroform layer is brown, then bromine is present. If chloroform layer is violet, then iodine is present. So, these are the different colors that are observed with the reaction between the sodium extract and AgNO3 solution. Then by considering these different tests, we have a conclusion that the given compound contains which elements, that is carbon, hydrogen and related elements, but usually we write CHO plus additional elements which are investigated. These are the reactions involved. When nitrogen is present, then we get NaCN. This NaCN is further treated with FeSO4, we get FeCN2. FeCN2 further reacts with excess of NaCN, we get Na4FeCN6, and thrice Na4FeCN6 plus 4FeCl3 gives Fe4FeCN6 thrice, which is ferric ferrocyanide having Prussian blue color. If your compound contains nitrogen, then this series of reactions will be completed, and then you will get this green or blue color. If first reaction is absent, then you will not get any final product. Then for sulfur, we get sodium sulphide. This sodium sulphide reacts with sodium nitroprusside giving a purple color. This sodium sulphide reacts with lead acetate giving the black precipitate. Similarly, for halogens, we get silver halide in the form of precipitate, and we differentiate these halogens by reaction between by using chloroform and chlorine water. Then next part is determination of functional group. If your compound is having acidic type and if it has CHO elements, then there are these possible assays. So, first test is common, that is compound plus saturated NaCO3 soluble in the fluorescence and can be reprecipitated. This indicates presence of COH group. Then prepare neutral solution. How to prepare neutral solution? This neutral solution is to be prepared by using ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide is used because ammonium hydroxide neutralizes the acid, and excess of ammonium hydroxide can be boiled off in the form of excess ammonia to get the neutral solution. So, you prepare neutral solution and add FeCl3 to the neutral solution, you will get these observations. Red or buff color, benzoic or phthalic acid; violet color, salicylic or aspirin; yellow colorations, cinnamic acid, and no change in the color of FeCl3, then it is containing oxalic acid. So, there is one more test for cinnamic acid and oxalic acid, that is neutral solution of the substance plus calcium chloride. White precipitate insoluble in acetic acid gives cinnamic acid, white precipitate insoluble in acetic acid but soluble in dilute HCl gives oxalic acid. So, all these tests are given in your practical charts. So, by appearance you will find that all the acids are having colorless, almost colorless nature in pure form, but practically these are having some different shades which can be investigated, which can be keenly observed during practicals. So, this is benzoic acid, it shows buff color with FeCl3, then phthalic acid is having colorless appearance, then this is salicylic acid, then acetyl salicylic acid, cinnamic acid which is unsaturated, this will show decolorization with KMnO4 and Biart water. Okay. Then this is oxalic acid which is not given in solid mixture because it is highly water soluble. So, it will be given in solid liquid mixture, oxalic acid. The reactions which are taking place in the detection of the functional group are: the carboxylic acid group will react with sodium bicarbonate giving sodium salt of the carboxylic acid. Then when we prepare neutral solution, carboxylic acid will react with NH4OH and it will give ammonium salt of the acid. And when we treat this ammonium salt of the acid with CaCl2, we get this calcium salt of the acid. So, these are the reactions which are to be reported during the practicals. Then whenever you have phenolic compound with CHO elements, then it can be differentiated very easily. Only one test is there: substance plus water, warm gently, plus neutral FeCl3 solution dropwise. There are two observations: green color immediately changing to white PPT, it indicates presence of beta naphthol, and white PPT slowly changing to violet indicates presence of alpha naphthol. So, the complex formation is taking place like this. This complex gives the color change, and these are the compounds. Alpha naphthol in crude form is having black brown color, and beta naphthol is having this pale brown color, dark brown and pale brown, but practically when you recrystallize, both appear same. So, in alpha naphthol the OH group is at alpha position, in beta naphthol the OH group is at beta position. Then for basic compounds must contain nitrogen, because the basic nature is due to presence of nitrogen. So, basic compounds CHON elements. Then we begin with this test: compound plus 2 to 3 ml concentrated HCl, ice cool, few drops of NaNO2. Actually, this is the test of diazotization. If yellow solid or oil separates, then secondary amine group is present. If red color is obtained and gives green precipitate on adding dilute NaOH, then tertiary amino group is present. If these two observations are not there, then add above solution to freshly prepared beta naphthalene NaOH. So, we get orange red dye. Prominently this test is very common in organic spotting, because majority of the compounds of primary amine type are given in the mixture. So, the group present will be primary amine. So, this is orange red dye. Orange red dye is obtained by diazotization. So, your amino compound, this is related to any, actually if you have any NH2 group, then that NH2 group will be converted into N2Cl. N2Cl group will have this diazonium ion, then this diazonium ion will couple with beta naphthalene NaOH, you will get a complex having orange red dye. So, this is the structure for orange red dye. So, this primary amine is there, primary amine is converted to diazonium salt, and it is further coupled with beta naphthalene NaOH. Then there is one more test. Some amino compounds are having nitro group also. So, the test is there. For nitro group, the compound is treated with taken with alcohol, then few drops of CaCl2, pinch of zinc dust, and it is boiled and filtered in Tollens reagent, we get black or grey precipitate. This indicates presence of nitro group. Basically, nitro group is neutral in nature, but the nitro group, if it is present in basic compounds, then the compound will be basic because of amino group and not because of nitro group. In case of nitroanilines, both these tests are observed. So, this nitro group is investigated by this particular reaction by using silver this Tollens reagent. The procedure for Tollens reagent is given here. Okay. So, compounds which contain amino group, when these are solids, when these are liquids, then there is aniline. When these are solids, then there is one orthonitroaniline, metanitroaniline, paranitroaniline. So, the functional group is NH2 group, and nitro groups these are present as substituents. So, orthonitroaniline will have orange yellow color, this will have a yellow color like turmeric, metanitroaniline, and this will have a greenish yellow color. So, these are the shades which can be differentiated. Then, if your compounds contains CHO elements, then there is possibility of ketonic group. The taste of the substance with sodium nitroprusside gives a red color. So, ketonic group is confirmed. The reactions involved are also given. Then, for esters, there is a disappearance of pink color with the compound plus very dilute NaOH, and we add the phenolphthalein indicator. The ester is converted into acid and alcohol, and therefore, the disappearance of color indicates the presence of ester group, because NaOH is consumed and there is a decolorization. So, neutral compounds with CHO elements, there are 3 functional groups. One is amide, other is anilide, third is nitro. Amide group gives or it evolves ammonia in presence of sodium hydroxide on heating. Amide group is present, which is neutral in nature. Then the example is urea. Then in case of anilide, it is acetanilide. Acetanilide can be hydrolyzed to amino compound, and then the same test for pyrimidine is carried out. So, compound plus 3 times concentrate HCl, boil for 10 minutes, dilute with water, cool, plus few drops of NaNO2 solution. In this case, the anilide group is converted into amino group, and then it in turn undergoes these various reactions. So, orange red dye after this series of reactions indicate presence of anilide group. And third is nitro group. Nitro compound, if it is solid, then it is M-dinitrobenzene. If it is liquid, then it is nitrobenzene. Nitro group has the same test, black or grey precipitate test, as we have seen in case of base also. Compound plus 2,3 ml alcohol plus few drops of CaCl2 plus zinc dust, heat for few minutes and filter in Tollens reagent, we get black or grey precipitate. So, this chemical transformation is there with the Tollens reagent. These tests indicate presence of amide, anilide or nitro. Lastly, there is a set number 6 in which halogens with CHO elements are there. For this purpose, the test is carried out. Compound plus 4 ml KOH, boil gently, acidify with HNO3 and add HNO3, white precipitate, then aliphatic halogenated compounds are there, no precipitate. Nuclear halogen substituted compounds like bromobenzenes are there. Then red color, if the compound gives red color, then there is a presence of this particular group. So, in this way, after investigating the physical nature, that is solid plus solid, solid plus liquid or liquid plus liquid, then we investigate the chemical type, acid plus phenol, acid plus base, acid plus neutral, base plus neutral, phenol plus base, phenol plus neutral, base plus neutral. Then by considering the chemical type, we separate these mixtures by selectively converting these into corresponding salts, that is by principle of salt formation. And once you convert these into salts, these can be separated very easily, the schemes we have seen. After separation of these compounds, then there are these series of reactions, series of tests are to be carried out, and you write the consultation with literature. For example, the given compound is solid having dash color with physical constant so and so, element so and functional group. Therefore, in consultation with the literature, the compound is to be reported. So, it is confirmed by the special test. So, similarly, you carry on for the second compound. After completion of these two tests, you put up the information in the form of result, compound number 1, compound number 2, write the nature, solid, liquid, whatever it is, color, then physical constant, then chemical type, then what are the elements present, then what is the functional group, then what is the name of the compound, and finally the structural formula. So, this entire procedure is called as organic spotting of binary mixture. So, you go through this video carefully, you go through your practical chart which is available with you, and then you will be given some work for writing mixtures accordingly. Okay. So, till then let us stop here. Thank you.